Joining this advisor spotlight with Shana Orczyk Sissel. Shana is the CEO of Banríon Capital Management. I wanted to ask you to start is why should advisors include alternatives as a core allocation in their portfolios?
So I think more and more after 2022, advisors have realized that alts have a place in portfolios. And you put a 20% allocation in to kind of complement a traditional 60-40. You really don't see any difference in your returns in normal market conditions. It's a slightly improved return based on my particular model that I did the work with. But you do see a reduction in the overall risk of the portfolio volatility. And so what happens is you don't have any particularly, it doesn't really take away from your performance in normal market conditions. But during a market stress, like we saw in 2022, and even now when volatility is high, it actually is a massive tailwind to performance. So really that is what it comes down to. You should be considering alts because it'll make your ride a little smoother for your clients. And during times of stress, you will get that downside protection that your clients really crave.
Yeah. So why is it more widely used? What are some of the biggest misconceptions about alternatives in general?
Well, the first thing I talked about, I think, is a big misconception, which is that it's only available to people to fall into that accredited bucket. And while I think most people can see that there's alternative product available to anybody through mutual funds and ETFs, it's a really difficult space to kind of work through because it's poorly categorized. There's a lot of misconceptions about how expensive they are. I won't get into the weeds on this, but I can just say that there's some regulatory requirements that calculate certain expenses twice. So it's not truly accurate reflection of the expense of the fund. So people think they're expensive because the expense ratios look that way. A lot of people don't know how to build those portfolios. They think of it more as tactical and tend to performance chase and pick the wrong funds at the wrong time. But then when it comes down to the advisors who do kind of understand that there's benefits there, it becomes a question of lack of education, not understanding how to build portfolios correctly, lack of turnkey product solutions, and folks like myself that do a lot of educational work to help advisors understand how to implement these strategies appropriately. And then it comes to the scale. So advisors typically don't like to have a lot of customization across their book of business, especially with smaller clients. So, it gets really hard to scale alternatives because you're dealing with public and funds and private funds. And so I think a lot have stayed away because they're not really sure how to scale it. And that's what we at Banríon help with. We offer turnkey solutions through our models. We offer an investment officer, dedicated OCIO platform. Because we know that these are difficult conversations to have with clients because these are complex products. So we hope to be able to help advisors communicate these complicated investment strategies to their clients in a way that their clients will be comfortable. And then we offer technology solutions. The traditional analytics that advisors use aren't able to really analyze portfolios that have short positions or derivatives. The holdings get put into the system really funny in the other ones so that it's not properly reflected. And so it's hard to, do any sort of analytical work and create proposals with anything that's long, short, or uses derivatives or anything like that. We solve for that as well through our tech portal. And then again, I mentioned it's hard to find. So in the 40 Act space with mutual funds and ETFs, because of the inconsistent categorizations and in many cases, not everything appropriately categorized and, long, short, it's not apples to apples like large cap growth. So you need a little help there. It gets a little overwhelming. And then access platforms are really the only way people can find private managers because they can't advertise. And so that gets a little harder. So we offer private fund access platform type experience, but also help with being able to kind of work through the 40 Act universe as well. And so I think all of those things really are the reason we haven't seen advisors as a whole allocate to alternatives. The average advisor allocates maybe 3% of their book to alts. And the average institution allocates about 27% to alts. And, the work that I've done and the research that's out there, suggest that 20% is the optimal allocation to alternatives to be able to maximize the return benefit and maximize the risk, risk management, and to be able to reduce risk in portfolios. So
anything else you wanted to add? I know that you've been working on multiple different projects, and I saw a couple of other team members that you've added to your group.
Yeah. So we officially launched our technology portal awesome. February 1st, which is really exciting. We did that through a partnership with a firm called Alphabot, who developed our technology and gave us exclusive licensing to the particular way that this portal works, which is tremendous. That is such a big deal because I think just the experience of working with us is elevated by having that technology portal to kind of serve as the entire ecosystem for all things alternative. We brought on some great strategic partners, and we're growing our access platform to get more partners on it for advisors to have, access and availability to a wide array of alternative product across the public and private offerings. And then, we've added new team members. So as you mentioned, we brought on Brittany Mason to serve as our chief of staff. She's going to be handling a lot of our marketing and business development work, as well as just helping me along with some, administrative things. She's amazing. And then we brought on Victoria Bills. She'll be joining us next week is when she starts. She's our chief investment strategist, and she's going to be working directly with our advisor clients to be able to help them along the way. Our first advisor clients that we onboard, probably our first 10 to 15, will either be assigned myself or Victoria as their dedicated investment officer. We have brought on one RIA onto the platform that we're really excited about. 2 weeks after we launched the technology is when we sort of started to bring on board RIAs. So we brought one on officially, and we have a few more that we hope to be onboarding soon. And so there's just a lot of interesting things. I think people really understand the value of what we're bringing to the table. We don't have a lot of competition because we're more than just an access platform. And really the key here is understanding how alternatives can work within an advisor's business, how advisors run their business and build their portfolios, and then just serving as their resident expert in the space and providing the education that's so sorely needed. Because I think that a lot of the educational content out there doesn't really target the advisor market. It's really meant for institutions and family offices and already highly sophisticated alternative investors. And there's not a lot that are really focusing on making sure that all the information and education is out there and overcoming some of those myths that we talked about, like, oh, they're too expensive, or, oh, they're high risk, or, oh, I don't know, how to access or how to build. And so that we're solving for a lot of that. So we're really excited about all the things that have happened to us and all the opportunity coming, because we think that this is something that can really help advisors not just improve their portfolios with their clients, but also improve their relationships with their clients.
Well, that's what it's all about. And so great work with, creating this team and this methodology, and something that's really unique in this industry. So, keep up the great work, Shana. We look forward to hearing from you again soon.
Thank you so much. And thank you for having me on.